The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show, well, we probably should be doing this one in December. We're cutting off heads, hanging out with foxes, and getting our folk fairy tale on with a strangely Christmas movie, The Green Knight from 2021. I'm Reeks.
And I'm Maddie.
And this is the Addicts podcast. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Addicts podcast. It's Green Day. Now I'm going to put in, if we wouldn't get completely slammed by licensing, I'd put in like, that was the time of your life, or whatever that fucking song is that everybody loves so much. Oh dear, it's Green Day, it's Green Knight Day. It ain't easy being a Green Knight, apparently, getting your head lobbed off and shit. But before we get into all of that, I'm here with Addie, who themselves is a Green Knight, but mostly because they eat a lot of Tic Tacs. Okay, Basil, what else is green? Apples, all sorts of stuff. What's going on, Addie? Help, I don't have a thread.
Yeah, I think Popeye is the actual Green Knight because he eats so much spinach.
Yeah, if spinach gave people like that kind of musculature, I don't think they'd eat it because he's got like big swollen forearms. That's a weird place to have gains. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? And what are you doing evenly on both hands that gives you huge forearms, Popeye? What are you doing? Is it fingering olive oil? Okay. Aggressively and permanently. What are we talking about? Hang on. How are you doing? What's going on?
I'm here. I'm okay.
Do you want to tell everybody what the fuck happened in October?
Yes,
This is wild, everybody.
I got bit by a stray dog, and I got 6 injections the other day, or the following day. So yeah.
Can you repeat that one time, please? You got bit by a
stray dog.
Okay. Everybody's seen this movie, right? It's called Wolf with Jack Nicholson. It's called An American Werewolf in London with whomever was in that movie. Like, this happens a lot. And come next full moon, you will be hirsute and howling at the moon. But I think you'll be a nice werewolf. I think you'd be the kind of werewolf that, you know, you can take home to mum.
I appreciate that.
Mum, this is my werewolf friend, and it's not weird, okay? We love each other. Oh, okay. That's insane. What were the circumstances?
Well, I was outside my house, and it was dark, and there were 3, like, right outside my gate, so I was just trying to prepare to what to do. I'm backing away, right? I didn't know this fucker was right behind me.
There was 4 of them.
Yeah. So there were 3 in front of me, and then I didn't know because it was dark. And it was like at midnight. Yes, I got bit at midnight, which is also weird. So yeah, it was behind me. I didn't really do anything, but because humans are fucking fuckers, they're playing with firecrackers at midnight. That spooked them, and yeah, he bit me. It's just like one little spot, so that's a good, like, it's not good. There's nothing good about it, but it could have been a lot worse. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they could have fucking mauled you to death, all 4 of them, and then you wouldn't become the Wolfman. I feel like I should be giving you Whistler advice. Like, you know, you start becoming sensitive to daylight, find yourself thirsty no matter how much you had to drink, buy yourself a gun. Better that than the alternative. That's my best Whistler impersonation, everybody. Chris Christopherson from the first Blade movie. Anyway, That's wild. That's absolutely wild. I hope you're okay. I know you got to go and get some more shots so that you can get the rabies. But apart from that, is everything else all right?
I guess so.
Long extended sigh. Well, in that case, let's talk about something fun then. Let's talk about some stuff that we've been watching.
No, before that, how are you?
Oh yeah, I'm all right. Oh, okay. What's happening? Nothing really. Just same stuff. Got a couple of shoots on and doing pods. Reading comics. I just finished the compendium of Y: The Last Man, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but fuck. The end. I was reading it at work. I was sitting at work reading this comic, and there was a bunch of people in, and this one particular thing happens to a core character, and I burst into tears, and it completely shook me, and I now feel like I cheated myself out of really enjoying that reveal. Like that story reveal will never happen to me again. You know what I mean? Like I know it, and I feel like the circumstances in which I read it really fucked up my experience of it. Like I shouldn't have been reading that at work. I should have been sitting in bed reading it with a cup of tea and, really enjoying it. But, the surprise of it is still the surprise of it. But yeah, it's excellent. Y: The Last Man, the comic series, you can get it in like a omnibus or 2 compendiums, and it's such a fantastic series. Brian K. Vaughan might be like one of the most successful comic book writers of all time. Successful in the sense that he uses the medium to its maximum. Like he's got so much like not control but mastery of the craft of comic book storytelling. He's just excellent. The Ex Machina is really good as well. I like that a lot. I haven't read Saga, but everybody tells me I should. Anyway, so that happened. And the only other thing that's really happening is Emily goes away for like 3 months next week. On Monday she leaves and she's in Sydney for 2 months, and then she's in the UK for a while. So that sucks. Sucks balls. But she's living her dreams, which can't ask for much more than that. Speaking of living some dreams, though, I did watch some pretty cool shit for Halloween 31 and 31. Do you want to talk about what are we watching?
Yes, we can do what are we watching.
What? We
watching.
Do I go first this time, or do you go first? I can't remember.
No, you go first. I've got jack shit that I've watched, man. It's been one hell of a week.
You've just been watching Lon Chaney's The Werewolf Man. Was Lon Chaney in that? I can't remember who the werewolf was. Anyway, I watched a movie with Lon Chaney Jr. Where he played not only a werewolf but also a mummy. He was a mummy werewolf. So he was a mummy who was entombed with werewolfism, so lycanthropy, and then he was brought back to life by this mad scientist, and then became the werewolf again. It's this film, a Spanish film called House of Terror, and it was actually it's half a comedy. There's even a musical number in it, and it was a vehicle for the Mexican comedian Tintan, who was this sort of like Mexican Jerry Lewis guy. And it was bizarre. It was like from 1954 or something like that. It was really fucking... It was in its entirety on YouTube. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes or something. Check it out. House of Terror. I really dug it. But the other things I watched for Halloween 31 and 31 was Primeval, which is like, I think, 2008 movie with the guy from Prison Break who also plays... Oh, what's the fire guy called from the Flash TV show?
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't seen the Flash.
Yeah, it's not Pyro because that's
X-Men.
That's the X-Men. Anyway, that guy did a big deal. He also played Dracula in Blade 3. I can't remember his name. Dominic something or other. Or maybe not at all. Anyway, He's in it, and it's a story that's sort of loosely based on a real incident of this very prolific, like human eating crocodile in Africa. That has been like killing hundreds and hundreds of people and never been caught. And these people go to kind of catch him. And I thought it was going to be this schlock piece of shit. It's actually really well directed. I really enjoyed it. It was big monster creature movies are kind of my thing. I thought it was really good. And the other thing I watched, which was fucking outstanding, was Train to Busan, the Korean film. Oh man, like I know the zombie sort of genre has kind of had its thing, and The Walking Dead's kind of tamed. The Walking Dead and the Fear the Walking Dead and Dead City and fucking The Book of Carol or whatever the fuck is going on in that universe with the 17 shows that they have and all the money that Robert Kirkman's counting. But when they do it right, it's really special, and Train to Busan is excellent. It's an excellently executed horror picture. It's got great suspense. It's got the great sort of like I know the sequel is called Peninsula, and it takes place over like a larger sort of area, but just in this one train is really interesting, and how that works and the dynamics of everybody and the characters. And the guy who's in Eternals is in it. I can't remember the name of the character he plays in Eternals though.
Gilgamesh. He plays Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh. He's in it, and he's a fucking pimp. It's really. If you haven't seen Train to Busan, absolutely check it out.
Yeah, that film's ending is like one of the most moving horror film endings of all time.
I was crying like a baby.
Yeah,
a hungry, angry baby. Excellent picture. So what have you watched, even though there wasn't much of it?
Before I go on, is it Dominic Purcell?
Yes, that's the very man.
Right. I don't think he's in The Flash. He's in The Legends of Tomorrow, I believe. He
started in The Flash because he's a Flash villain whose name escapes me. There's Captain Cold, and then this dude. And he's a fire dude, and I just can't remember his name. Someone is screaming in their car right now, saying it's fucking this thing, and sorry, Juan. I'm assuming it's Juan.
Wait, I have a question though. So is Captain Cold like some sort of like distant relative of Captain Crunch?
Yes, absolutely. He enjoys his cereal chilled. Oh, like what a dick.
Arch nemesis of Dr. Freeze?
Maybe. I don't know that well enough. I watched the first couple of seasons of The Flash, and then everybody got superpowers, and I was like, get fucked. Not everyone can have superpowers, all right? There need some normal people around here, but we got like fucking, the invisible bitch and flame on and shit. No, that's a quote from Reservoir Dogs. But you've got the dude vibe, the little guy, the sidekick, and then you've got the professor guy and Thorn, and then the whatever her name is, the woman gets one, and then she gets powers as well.
Frost is the only one I know.
Yeah, and then his kids have it. It's all and the same in Arrow. It was like his Arrow, and then it was his butler / bodyguard, whatever the fuck, got powers, or got a super identity, and then it was Speedy, and then it's his sister, and then it's like one of them becomes a Black Canary. I'm like, hang on a minute, why is everybody a superhero all of a sudden? Can't we just have some people who are just normal people? Anyway,
and then that's the Black Canary that goes into Legends.
Yes, no, and then White Canary, horrendous. It's too much of a good thing. Always leaves one wanting less. What did you watch?
I watched something that is probably one of the best films ever made, like of all time. It's probably not in my. It probably is in my top 10, but like really low. I watched The Good, the Bad, the and the Ugly.
Yeah, right. I've never seen it.
Oh, really? That's cool. It's a really cool sort of depiction of the Civil War. It's a very anti-war film, but it's all in the background. And Clint Eastwood is Clint Eastwood, and B. Clint Eastwood is a candy. And I watched it for a film club, which is like I thanked the friend that recommended it because I was like, thank you for legitimately giving me a film that I had to knock off my watch list for so long. Unfortunately, the cut that I watched, the audio is not synced. So like you can see the lips move, but the dialogues come like 3 seconds later, which is annoying. But it's also 3 hours long. So it gets annoying in all sorts of parts, and it's crazy and it's fun. And the score is the main fucking soul of that film.
It's Ennio Morricone, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's Ennio Morricone, the composer. Is that right?
I'm not exactly sure. I'll look it up.
I thought he was because there's a Sergio Leone picture, yes?
Yep. It's a Sergio Leone.
Yeah. Was it just the dialogue that was out of sync, or was it all of the audio? Because it was just the dialogue. It might be because they would dub everybody because they made them in Italy.
Yeah.
To spaghetti western.
I believe it was just the audio because the score was fine.
Yeah, that might be the case then.
What did you say?
It's Ennio Morricone.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, super famous for that wow 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 wow. Yeah. That's really cool, man. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, hopefully you can find a version of it where the dialogues are in sync with the video.
Yeah, right. There's also, it's sort of part of a trilogy in a way that there's it's like Fistful of Dollars, I think, and then The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and then Once Upon a Time in the West is sort of like his sort of opus. They're not connected like in terms of story, I don't think, but they're just sort of like the sort of peak of the spaghetti western movement.
Yeah. I do think this is the last one though. Like this came out in 66.
Okay, maybe I got the order wrong, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
I think they all have Clint Eastwood. But
correct.
Yeah, it also like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly have it has one of the most like classic villains in Angel Eyes, and it is the most horrifyingly sexy performance I've ever seen.
Oh, that's great. Horrifyingly sexy. That's I've been called that myself many times.
I can see that it is. It's all there.
Yep.
And it's all
horrifying. Ooh, sexy.
No, horrifying in a sexy way.
Oh, right. Like, I'm hard now. Hang on a minute. I'm a bit tired, everybody. Okay. Speaking of horrifying and sexy, do you want to talk about some nerd news, if that's all you've been watching, or have you watched other things?
Oh, no, I did. I watched like 2 other things. I rewatched Interstellar because
cool.
That was the second film for the film club. It was great.
Still my favorite.
Last time I watched it, it wasn't like I didn't know if it was on par with like 2001, but not many things are. But this time, I felt very different about it. I loved it even more.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's still like number one spot is always 2001, but it's getting closer with Interstellar. And I love like the tesseract of it, and like love is the fourth dimension is it as a theme. It's a really incredible one because it's also really well set up, because like the whole like debate from going to man's planet or Edmund's planet, it was all based on that. And like
it's really well executed.
And I feel like if it was like any other film, like any other sci-fi film with like this amount of baggage, it would not end with a hopeful note. I think it's very rare that we get science fiction films that end on a hopeful note, and it's like this one it does. They find it, like it all works out. They find the planet, and like Anne Hathaway takes off her helmet and she breathes, and it's like it's a sigh of relief for the audience as well. I loved it.
That's one of my favorite scenes in that film where it's the score, that sort of trinkety score, kind of getting the flourishes coming in, and Hans Zimmer like getting to his, contretemps or whatever you call it. At the that's ballet term, but sort of the big end part, and the denouement. And she's there, and you're hearing Murph's voiceover, and it's like she's out there right now. She's about to go down for the big sleep, you know what I mean, for the long sleep, and you got to go and find her. It's like the journey continues. It's an excellent movie. It's an excellent movie. I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with Nolan and his. We've talked about it before. His inability to write women or whatever the fuck, and his women are so important in all of his movies. You just need to watch them, like maybe apart from Batman. But like the emotion and the hopefulness, and it's all right there. He's not this sort of sterile technician everybody thinks he is, I don't think.
Yeah, it's also like the entirety of Cooper's existence and like his reason of going up there is that like the entire mission fails because of the exact same reason that the Jedi Order fails, is that because these astronauts did not have any like connection towards like actual people on Earth. They turned on humanity itself, and they rejected the entire core of the mission. And so the only reason why it's even successful is because Cooper cares about Murph so much that he saves the entirety of humanity. Like, empathy is where it all comes from. And did you know that like the actual theme for Interstellar, like the stay theme, is based on the one scene where Cooper is leaving Murph, and when Hans Zimmer scored it, he did not know it was a science fiction space movie. That's insane, dude. I
feel like the shorthand that those two creators had together until Nolan, started making movies that were scored by the other guy, the guy who did the Tenet score and the score of Oppenheimer, whose name escapes me. He was the guy who did Black Panther, Ludwig someone or other.
Ludwig Göransson.
That's him, yeah. They had like a really good understanding of each other, those two creators. So yeah, it's one of my favorite scores of all time. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's my favorite Nolan movie. I know that's unpopular, but I don't give a fuck. I know what I'm about. Yeah. Excellent. And what was the other thing that you watched?
I binged the entirety of the third season of The Sopranos.
A bit. Wow. How many episodes are they?
So I can't remember. I believe until season 6, it's only 13, and then season 6 is 21.
Yeah. Wow. They went full, like network TV about it.
Yeah. Also, but like all of the episodes are an hour-long episode. But holy shit, man! This is like one of the best written shows of all time.
It arguably is the best written show of all time, honestly. It's like, it's like that and Mad Men, are both created by the same dude. Yeah, it's pretty stellar. You're talking about it makes me want to go back, but I'd have to get HBO Max, and they keep it's not them binge pesters me, but HBO Max is like teasing me with it. Maybe I say it too close to my phone. You've seen that, Pete Holmes, the comedian?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. He's just so great. I love him. He was the one who was like, listen, big black rubber dildos or something. Big black rubber dildos. Hey, everyone, listen, big black rubber dildos or something. He's saying that in his show, and he's like, all right, enjoy all those Instagram ads tomorrow on your phone. It's kind of that. It's a bit like that. It keeps hearing me say it, and people say it around me. I do feel bad for Binge, though, because they do keep trying to get me to come back, but they've lost all of the rights to all of their HBO stuff. So they're like, hey, do you want to come and watch The Office, I guess? I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I've got some DVDs. It's all good. Do you want to watch some reality TV show where they're on a boat? Nah, I don't. Actually, I don't want to watch that at all. Sorry, Binge. They're going to fold. So yeah, Sopranos. You get, how many seasons is it in the end? It's like 7 or 8.
No, it's 6 because the last season has 21 episodes. So I'm more than halfway done because I'm like episode 4 or 5 of season 4, And season 4 takes place after 9/11. So, like, they changed the entirety of the intro because before they had the twin towers, and so they changed like the shots where you could see like the skyline. So yeah, that was interesting because that's like the first time I've seen that in like an actual TV show.
Yeah, that's whack. Well, I can't wait for you to get to the end of it so that we can talk about it. But shall we get to a little bit of nerd news before we get into the Green Knight?
Yeah.
Excellent. Here's some news. Are you watching It, Welcome to Derry?
I'm actually going to watch it after we record.
Yeah, right. I'm about to ruin something for you. Is that all right? It's not a spoiler. Like, you'll find it out as soon as this person is introduced. But yeah.
Okay, sure.
Or should I skip this one?
Go ahead.
Maybe I'll skip this one.
Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
In Welcome to Derry, which is a lactose intolerant person's worst nightmare.
You beat me by
did I make that joke last week? Oh, did I? Welcome to Derry. No, I'll get diarrhea from all the milks. I was having dinner last night, and I won't tell you who with or where or whatever, because I don't want to call this person out, but it was pretty funny. We had dinner, and they were mid-sentence and went, "Oh, you'll have to excuse me," and went to the bathroom for an extended period of time. And it wasn't funny. I felt bad for them. Actually, it was fucking hysterical, but I felt bad for them. But I've never in person, like, people have talked about it before, I've never in person witnessed an emergency shit. Like, you know what I mean? Most of the time when you need to have a shit, you get like a little, okay, this is your 10-minute warning. 10-minute warning. And you're like, okay, all right, I got a bit of time. I can sort it out. This was like, it opened the door and it was go time, or it was going to be fucking touching cloth. You know what I mean? Turtling. Prairie dogging, I believe they call it.
What the
in some
fuck?
circles. Yeah. That's where it pokes its little head out and checks things out. Okay.
Are we still talking about shit?
Yes. Okay. So, because we were talking about Derry and we're going to, okay, right. In Welcome to Derry, it's been revealed that Chris Chalk's character is Dick Halloran.
I think I knew that.
From The Shining.
Yeah, I think I knew that.
Yeah. Pretty cool. So it now exists in the sort of Stephen Kingiverse, which is awesome.
Yeah,
I like that. I like the I know that he's got a lot of connectedness with his books, like, you know, the Dark Tower and all that, and they're like, you know, there's characters that overlap, and a lot of it happens in Maine, and you know, like that's pretty cool. But I feel like if they start doing that in the TV show, it's pretty smart. And they tried to do it as well. There was another series called Castle Rock or something that was kind of based on a bunch of his ideas.
Castle Rock? Isn't that a He-Man thing?
That's Castle Grayskull.
Okay. There am a nerd.
A lot of He-Man fans, because you know how many He-Man fans listen to our show. Actually, I don't know. Are there any He-Man fans out there? Yeah. Shout us out.
If you are a He-Man fan,
you'll ain't be commenting enough anyway. Like, when I say to shout out, no one says nothing. So come on down. I want to hear about it. Any He-Man fans, comment. I don't give a fuck about likes or clicks or algorithms or anything like that shit. I couldn't fucking care less. All I want to do is talk to the fans, and I want to know if there's any He-Man out there, any He-Man who want to chat about it, because we'll talk about He-Man. I fucking don't even worry about it. We'll do an episode. If any single person apart from Chaz and Juan or Kike comments on the YouTube of this episode that they like He-Man, me and Addy will do an episode on the Masters of the Universe film with Dolph Lundgren. You got it? Everybody? You will fucking love it, Addy. It is so gay-coded. It's unbelievable. It's just like Dolph Lundgren walking around in what can only be described as a bikini.
I already love it because it was one of the first films my dad made me watch.
Oh, all right. We're fucking doing it anyway, regardless. Okay, everyone. Next week, we're doing fucking He-Man. No, maybe the week after, because I want to see if anybody comments on this episode. But we're fucking doing Sex He-Man. All right, it's so good.
Also, in the same way, I just want to know if you're a He-Man.
Sorry, Sex He-Man. Come on, Riggs. Okay, what was you think? What were you saying?
I just want to know if you're a He-Man fan and you're listening to this. I want to know, how does it make you feel that the new live-action He-Man film, in it, Jared Leto is playing Skeletor after ruining the entirety of the Tron franchise? How do you feel about that?
I don't think he ruined it. I just don't think anyone gives a shit. Like, maybe if they cast someone else, yeah, you're probably right. But it's. Yeah, I mean, that was dead on arrival, wasn't it?
With Tron.
Do you think it's him? Do you think people are like, yeah? Do you think people are like, I don't want to go and see Jared Leto do anything? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same with the Flash film.
Like with Ezra Miller and all the controversy they had, and yeah, that's fair, I guess. Morbius still rules, though, everybody.
Yes, Morbius still rules, and I'm gonna rewatch it this month for the first time because it's one of the best vampire movies ever made.
Yep.
And the only
I hear about it. It's like that.
Go ahead.
Near Dark. Interview with Vampire.
Nosferatu.
Byzanthemum. Only Lovers Left Alive. Anyway, fuck all that shit. It's dairy. That's what's happening. Tron Legacy is great. Here's a big one. Warner Brothers is selling themselves, which is pretty much as it sounds. And Apple, Netflix, and Amazon, along with others, are all trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. They're officially exploring a sale of the company after getting offers from multiple giants, including the ones I just mentioned, as well as NBC, Universal, and Paramount. The media titan behind HBO, DC, and Warner Brothers Pictures has reportedly been signing NDAs with potential buyers to share financial data with interest ranging from full takeover to partial asset sales, like its film and TV studio or HBO Max and streaming library. Paramount has already made 3 bids, the latest worth $60 billion. All of them have been rejected, while Apple and Amazon are said to be eyeing their content libraries, which is interesting because Apple only has its own content library. They don't have, on Apple TV Plus, they don't have access to just regular streaming, the way that you normally would. It's only their stuff, so that could be interesting for them. But Amazon are also interested in it as well. So, yeah. I wonder what would happen. If the guard changed. Would that fuck up everything that James Gunn's doing?
It would 100% fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's even worse? They don't have a film coming out until Supergirl.
Which is July next year, is that right?
Yeah. So in the meantime, the stock is only going to go down. Troublesome.
And considering James Gunn has finished the 4th draft of Man of Tomorrow, which is the Superman sequel set to be coming out will begin filming in April of 2026. Shit. That could be troublesome. That means the Batman 2's never going to come out. It's going to be like Batgirl.
That's so true.
And then when they make number 3, Robert Pattinson's going to be 78 years old. Fuck my hole. So I guess we'll see how that goes. It's going to be big business interests versus entertainment and art don't work. Like Guillermo del Toro is cornered the market on that, I think, particularly the way that he's made his version of Frankenstein. But yeah, like those, I understand it's show business and the business part is very important, but it seems to be, so calculating. We're starting to lose the point of why we're here, which is to tell stories. I thought anyway. I don't know.
I also students,
but maybe I'm just coming on my own green belt. Okay. We'll get back. Then
I guess I'm just the fox trying to lick it off. Then
what the fuck? That doesn't happen in the movie.
They don't know. They haven't listened to the rest of the episode yet.
But I'm presuming that anybody listening to this episode has seen The Green Knight.
Yeah,
because we're going to spoil it a bit, including a very, very weird jerk-off scene with Alicia Vikander. Okay,
Juan,
before we
have
do
you
that,
seen
though,
it? Let me know if you've seen it, Juan.
yeah, Juan's seen everything. He's seen just men live and die and kingdoms fall and all sorts of people being jerked off onto clothing.
I was waiting for that one specifically.
He's not a knight. Yeah. Okay. IMAX has revealed its 2026 slate. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Are you ready for this? IMAX, Super Mario Galaxy,
Jesus
Mortal
fucking
Kombat
Christ.
2, The Mandalorian and Grogu. I didn't even know they were doing that. All right. And Sigourney Weaver's in it. Fuck. And then we got Toy Story 5 in June of next year, no less. Crazy. Supergirl in June also. And then we've got Minions 3, fuck my hole. Resident Evil, which is the Resident Evil that's being directed by the guy who did Weapons.
Oh, fuck. The
what's
Zack
his face?
Crager one?
Yeah.
Shit.
So that's September next year. Street Fighter in October. Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaper, which I guess is the next one after the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's the story of Haymitch, the character that Woody Harrelson played in the original Hunger Games films.
Because he was one of the ones who survived a Hunger Games.
he was
Is that correct?
he was the vendor for District 12. I'm really excited for that one because the Hunger Games seems to be more and more relevant, and people don't see it, but it's very relevant.
It was relevant when it came out, and it's more relevant the further down the line we get. Do you remember when somebody asked us, I think it was Chaz, in like a question and answer thing, they said what franchise could use more sex? And I said the Hunger Games. Because they're all teenagers running around like hormonal teenagers trying to survive, but it's all, instead of fighting, they just fuck each other. And instead of like weapons being dropped on them at the beginning, they get like dildos and ball gags and stuff. And we call it the Thirsty Games. Do you remember that? That's one of the best jokes I've ever said.
I don't remember that. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? I don't even remember what episode it was on. I made a short of it. Like I made a promo of it. I'll see if I can find it. Okay. Anyway, they're also doing new Narnia. Narnia, the Magician's Nephew comes out on my birthday next year, November 26th.
I don't know what the fuck that is. All I know is Netflix is making a Narnia film with Greta Gerwig. So,
maybe that's it.
Yeah. I'm excited for
Maybe that's it.
For that.
Dune Part 3, whatever they're going to call that, is coming out in December next year. And, of course, Avengers Doomsday, which comes out December 18th.
Did you say
So, yeah, that's
Doomsday?
it. If you like IMAX, hey?
Did you say Doomsday?
No, I said Doomsday.
Oh, okay.
Doomsday. Yeah, if you're into IMAX, there's some pretty interesting stuff coming up, I must say. But none of them more interesting to me than The Green Knight. This was my first time. Hang on. Got hair on my microphone. This is my first time watching The Green Knight, directed by David Lowery, based on also written by him, based on the poem, unknown author, called The Gawain Poet, which is a story of Gawain. Is it Gawain? Is that how you pronounce it?
They say Gawain in the film.
Gawain. Yeah, so the Gawain poet. Gawain in the film is played by Dev Patel. This is a story of King Arthur's youngest nephew, who was also his youngest knight. They don't actually refer to Kate Dickie and Sean Harris, who play the king and queen, as Arthur and Gwendolyn, but that is the conceit. And yeah, Dev Patel plays Gawain. What a fucking amazing movie. What a confident picture from David Lowery. Really early in his career, honestly. Like, I know that he's gone on to do some bigger things, but fucking hell.
Yeah. I remember, like, when the first teaser of this dropped, and it was just the scene of the Green Knight, like, riding out of the court with his head in his hand laughing. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. What is this?
Yeah.
It was not... I do concede that it's a dark, like a gothic fairy tale. I don't think it's a horror movie. I think Sinners, which was our original idea for this episode, would have made more sense for a Halloween thing. But I still dig it so much, But just from that opening shot where it's the farm, and like I didn't even notice the guy sort of sitting there at first, and then it cuts back and the thing's on fire, and then the ducks are going crazy, and that guy comes with it, and then you've got this slow like dolly back through, not a window obviously because there's no glass, they hadn't invented it yet, or whatever, and it comes and then you sort of rests, and you find Dev Patel sleeping in a brothel, as far as I can understand. I was like, okay, this is some really precision filmmaking that's going on here. This isn't going to be a kind of slapdash camera on your shoulder kind of affair. It had really traditional cinematic language. Yeah,
I watching this last night, or I guess tonight. I do agree. I think Sinners would have been a better choice, but it's just I genuinely picked this because we've talked about horror movies and like the different facets of horror in different types of stories. Like The Frighteners is a horror movie in all of its right, but it's also comedy.
Yes, very much.
And I feel like The Green Knight has a lot of horror elements, but is serviced through like a lot of lore and fantasy. I feel like that's a connection that you rarely see.
Yeah, it has like the traditional like hero story, obviously the Campbell sort of idea of a hero's journey, but it's got these gothic trappings and this, like, I don't know the actual story properly well enough to know if there's the different things. Like you've got the scavenger played by Barry Cogan, and he becomes the thief, and then you've got the Lord and his lady, and you've got that kind of weird scene in the castle before he gets to the Green Knight, and the fox, the headless woman, which was one of my favorite lines, where she takes her out to the lake and is like throwing it in there. And he's like, are you alive or you're a spirit? And she goes, what difference does it make? I need my head. Like, it just, these kind of, what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Guillermo del Toro talked about sort of this stuff, myth and legend and all that, and how there's just, things just happen. Like, nobody in that court was sitting around when the Green Knight came in and leaned over guys to the person sitting next to him and went, is that guy a fucking tree? Like, did a tree person just walk in here? When the fuck? How have you seen this tree? No, I've never seen a tree person before, ever. It's never come up. That's so fucking weird. He's half a tree. Oh shit, he cut his fucking head off and he's still alive. Like, no one's freaking out that this thing's going on. And I also like that the two people in the court sound exactly the same, and they have my accent. But that when it comes to myth and legend and that kind of stuff, it's just, okay, so if you have to answer 3 riddles to get the troll to open the door in the secret room or whatever, why? Because that's the fucking rules. You don't need to over-explain things in that context. And this film does that so well. It just does stuff. It just kind of happens, and you either get on board or you don't. Like, if you're going to be sitting there, like, people overanalyze everything these days anyway, particularly when it comes to movies, and particularly adults who watch movies. But if you just let it go and be like, yeah, it's a tree person. Yes, he's talking to a headless spirit. And fucking surprise Joel Edgerton. I fucking love Joel Edgerton when he pops up in stuff. Anyway, we'll get to that. So I'll just ask, like, as I tend to, how did you discover this?
Oh, it was...
Because I knew about it. There was a lot of buzz when it came out, but I haven't, it didn't entice me to watch it.
Yeah, there was a lot of buzz when it came out, but then it didn't come out where I was. So I was just eagerly waiting for me to get my hands on it, like, for it to be available some fucking where. I had it for a year and I didn't watch it. And then one day I was like, you know what? I haven't watched it. I don't really know anything about it. I just want to watch it. And it became one of my favorite fantasy films of all time.
Yeah, it's really like the quality is undeniable. It's interesting that Lowry didn't go on to do more of this stuff.
Mhm.
You know, he's kind of diversified his career, which is cool and everything. But he clearly had a knack for gothic fantasy.
Yeah, and like also like this it didn't really do well because like gothic horror in itself is a very hard sell to a lot of people. And then mixing it with not only fantasy but high fantasy, which is you have cities and you have rules and you have giants, and especially here where all of the things like you said are just happening. Like if you're not there when his mother summons the Green Knight, if you don't get that, then like you will not get any of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the scene where the knight comes in and he's like, the king says it's just a game, and you know, so he cuts a motherfucker's head off, and then he goes and meets him, and the Green Knight's almost like just disaffected by it. He's like, oh, you came. What is it? June? What month is it? Christmas already? Like that's, yeah. It's so, and I was saying before off mic. I love the Green Knight, the design of it, and the fact that it's practical. It's someone wearing an actual costume. The someone as well. Sorry, I'm just looking up the name. Is
Ralph Ineson,
Ralph
fucking Galactus.
Ineson. Galactus himself, yeah, just I'm pretty sure this was his rehearsal tape for Galactus. And the sound that he makes when he moves, it's like logs in a body of water just clanging and cracking together. And that was the thing that caught me a little bit. This was the sound design of it.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to it with cans on, which is not something I normally do. And it was so textured and there was so much going on sonically that was caught my attention. But yeah, you're right. Like the nature of how things kind of work is really interesting. You know, like the giants, you don't know where they're going, you know, and he doesn't ask. He's like, can I travel on your shoulder kind of thing. And the practical nature of that as well. And also like the effects as well, like even the fox, which I love that he had a fox companion. I love foxes. I know they're a pest in most places, but I think they're beautiful little creatures. That was again the having a totem for your journey, you know, for your trek to become a better version of yourself, hopefully, even though, you know, the forecast for his future is pretty bleak, the one that he has himself. That's really interesting. But yeah, the assistance of using, you know, it's shot mostly on location by the looks of it, and there might have been some green screen work here and there, and there's definitely some computer generated elements, but it felt integrated into what they were already doing. You know, nothing felt, it wasn't grandstanding ever.
Yeah.
Every decision felt like a creative decision.
Yeah. I also love the fact that they never explicitly say that it's King Arthur and it's the Knight of the Courts or Court of the Knights. And you do see Merlin and he does some magic, but it's very understated, and there's a reason for that. Because when you first see the king and queen, it almost looks like they're dying, and it's because they are. It's because their era is dying. And like the further you are in that setting, the more you see how everything is so bleak and dying. And in it is this spark of nature, which is the Green Knight. And it's shown by him like just keeping his axe on the ground and like on cement, like on hard fucking rock, there's life all of a sudden because of him. I feel like that's the journey that Gavin has to eventually go on. Like he has to make life out of the hard concrete world that he's from.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's that sort of the mythological nature to nature, and the fact that it's even in its like rarest form, like if you put a seed in the ground, something will grow. That's not biology. That's fucking witchcraft. That is absolute magic that happens. You know, and I'm not trying to be crass here. If you put a seed in a woman, if you put a seed in a womb, a life will grow. That's bordering on magic as well. You know, well, it actually absolutely is. We just take it because it's just that's the normal thing. But if you think about it for a second, that's fucking crazy. You know, all of it's miraculous. You got to look at it from a certain way, and that's definitely McGowan's journey is to discover that. And I feel like that I'll just say as well, there's a scene where he's first leaving and all the kids are behind him and they're going, I've got a sword, come back. You know, good luck on your journey, blah, blah, blah. And that tracking shot of him on the horse is really long and it's silent. And he's just trotting along. And I love it. I love working in music videos and things like that, and short films and even podcasting in a lot of ways. It's about like tightening things up and, you know, making things shorter, especially these days with fucking social media and stuff like that. Like you can't even share, I found this out the other day, you can't even share a video on Instagram over 3 minutes and have it be seen. Like it'll only go to your followers. It won't go to, you know, it won't get expanded. Like I said before, I don't give a fuck about all that kind of stuff. I just noticed because that was a prompt that came up and I was like, well, why, what's the difference? Like why does that make a difference? You know, we're so conditioned to consume in bite-sized chunks. We're all fucking starving for actual stuff, you know, for actual, you know, artistic nourishment, because we're just doing these little tiny bites of stuff as opposed to having a proper meal. This movie is a fucking meal of a movie. To have the patience to let a shot linger like that. And he does it a lot in this movie. I really, really appreciated it. I'm like, when's this going to cut? Is it going to? He's not going to cut. He's just going to watch this character regally walk towards camera on a horse, you know, and then cut the frame there. Like, yeah, really, really respect his dedication to the aesthetic that he sets up so quickly in this film.
It also just shows his mastery on his mastery and his confidence on like the story that he's telling, you know, because like if like one aspect of this film like half-asses it, the entire thing falls apart, because it's also very loosely connected to what's actually happening until you get to like the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then also you don't really have an answer. And I love that ending. But we've talked about like all the good parts. I want to ask you, is there something that did not work for you?
Joking aside, I don't understand the radical tone shift that is a fucking hand job from kind of your mum. Like, think about it for a second. She even, when she gives him this is Alicia Vikander's character as the lady, you know, she's not the like in the beginning you see her, she's got the cut hair, which was, you know, typical of sex workers at the time, or she's ECL at the beginning, and then she's the lady. And she also has the speech about Naisha. She's like, the green will roll over all of this, you know what I mean? Like that's what's going to happen. But she has this thing where she sews. So his mum sews the rune into the green belt and gives it to him before he goes on his journey, and he gets stolen by Barry Cogan. She gives it to him and says the same thing that his mother said to him. And she's like, do you want it? Do you want it? And he says yes. And she's like, tell me you want it. And it's a little bit of a dom sub thing going on. And he's getting a hand job. And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to turn into a sex scene. And he just nuts. And she says, you are no knight, walks away. And his belt is covered in semen. And I was like, there's been no like I understand that he woke up in a brothel or whatever, but there has been no sexual. I remember when it came up, it said on the thing, it was like, you know, some fantasy violence and sex scenes. I'm like, that's interesting. And then I was waiting for the sex scene and nothing happened. It's just this guy nutting on his own belt. And I thought, that is what a right-hand turn, you know? And I understand what it was doing in contextually and, you know, in terms of the plot and the theme and, you know, the weakness of man and he's not a knight. He's completely fallible and he is of the flesh. He's not enlightened. He's not heightened. He's just a man. I totally get it. There's other ways to do that. I feel like David Lowery was very horny that night that he wrote that particular, and he wanted a fucking handy. Whatever. So yeah, that's really the only thing that kind of stood out. I would like to watch it again, which I'm going to, because it is a Christmas movie. I'm going to watch it in December. You know, and just kind of, you know, enjoy that. Stephen Sadak from the We Hate Movies podcast, on his Letterboxd review of this film, he wrote, "This is my new like Christmas go-to, pushing Muppets Christmas Carol down the line a little bit," which is interesting because yeah, it is excellent, and yeah, set at Christmas time. So yeah, I'd like to watch it again and kind of see if I can find how, you know, blowing a load on on your own belt that your mother / woman who's kind of wants you to be part of her throuple and the Lord wants it as well. Yeah, you know, he's interested.
I think just that part of the journey in the film itself is just horny, and I feel like that's because it's that's because not only so like the story is written by Gavin himself, right? So like the story that we're watching. So I feel like that's also like leading into the narrative that he's not a very good he's not a trustworthy storyteller, you know? Like you can't trust the details that he tells. Although I don't know why he'd say that, even if that's what's happening in the story. But yeah, it's like is not a trustworthy narrator, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
That's the reason why that is because like the lady looks a lot like Essel, and like that's the only connection there, and it's also like that because that part of the journey is sort of the end of his journey, and he's going towards his eventual end, which we'll come back to. It's also like his like grooming phase, like the nature itself is grooming him and like feeding him and giving him all that he needs before he's sacrificed and one with the earth.
Yeah.
And it's also testing him because, like, obviously, and it's clear that he's not a knight because he's not knighted. Like in the vision that he has, he's knighted after he comes back from, you know, whatever happens at the end. And when I say whatever happens at the end, I really do mean that because it's an open ending, and we'll get to it and what we think it means. But yeah, I feel like that's the testing phase, and it's testing the audience as well, because like he wakes up and Joel Edgerton says it's right over there at a 1 day's journey. So you're like, then fucking get to it, man. It's like the green.
Get on it, but no, he's going to be like, you know, sexually threatened by both of these people.
Yeah, that kiss between Joel Edgerton and Dave Patel, unnecessarily the most sexiest two men kissing of all time, man. I'm not even kidding. He's on a horseback, and like they just lean in, like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but unhand me, and he's like, fair enough, gone too far. You don't swing that way, but my missus jerked you off though, didn't she? Ha ha! Here, have your fox back. Yeah, it's a weird little section, but I don't dislike it. You know, it was I was just surprised.
Is there anything that felt off, or like except for that? Is there, except for like that section of it, is there anything that like felt like, okay, this is a reach? Like I'm not 100% on board with this.
Not really. I mean, I started to feel that way when they were playing out this sort of the prescient dream, or the prescient sort of thing that he has, where he's about to be beheaded by the Green Knight, and then he runs away. He goes back home. He's with Alicia Vikander's character. They have a kid. He becomes king. He takes the kid away. Marries another princess, and she goes back to being a sex worker, and he's with the princess and stuff. And then he goes to war, and the child grows up, and then the child gets killed in the war. All that stuff. He becomes like almost irredeemable, and then it flashes back to thing. And I feel like that's the lesson. That was what the journey for the Green Knight was. It was to see who, like, your dedication to becoming this knight is ultimately going to lead to you becoming, a war of proliferation, like a constant war, a lifetime of war, like Caesar. And I feel normally when you do that thing and then you flash back, is like in that last Twilight movie where they all fucking behead each other on that icy field, and then it turned out it was just it was the vampire who can see the future, knowing that it wasn't going to happen. I'm like, yeah, ripped off. That's bullshit. But with this, I was like, oh no, that was the teaching, that was the learning, and he's going to go home and be a better man, and it doesn't matter if he's a knight or not, or if he's a king or whatever. Yeah, and that's the Green Knight's final words, are kind of cement that. So yeah, that was the only time I felt like I might stub my toe on some of the story stuff, but yeah, it seemed to round the corner quite well.
I feel like the only part where I'm still a little confused and not entirely sure is when the fox speaks, because throughout the film I understand what's happening, because it is nature's course, and it can also be because what his mother is basically, in like very, very low fucking fantasy D&D terms, his mother is basically a druid, like a really high level druid, right? And so she can conjure up spirits, and she is connected with the earth, and is, like, druids are people who are genuinely connected. Like if you cut off a flower, like they can feel that pain because they're connected with the earth that way. And so she summons the Green Knight. I don't think she creates it. I think she does summon it, because you see him in the chapel when he's resting in his like fucking Dracula cave. But yeah, it's when she summons it, it's like it genuinely takes power out of her. And when Gavin cuts off the head, it's like the blood spatter is not because it's the Green Knight, it's the connection of her and the creature that gets severed. That's just my reading on it, actually. I don't exactly know what that is, which is like the most beautiful part about this film, is that you can see it and interpret it in so many different ways.
Regardless of how you engage with it, yes. The answer is yes. It doesn't matter. I mean, unless you look at it and you're like, oh, it's actually about Nazis or something like that. No, it's probably not all about Nazis. But, if the way that it makes you feel is perfectly legitimate,
And like on that, I actually did feel very different about a few things in this film that I've never felt before. It can also just be like me recovering from the fucking rabies vaccination or whatever the fuck. But
maybe,
like, yeah, I can not excuse, but I can accept the fox talking, and I can, like, the entirety of the giant sequence. I'm still like, I have my jaw dropped because it's so incredibly shot. Like you can genuinely feel the scale of Gavin in front of these giants.
Mm.
And like it never fails to amaze me. Like that's one of the things where you're like, that's the reward that you get for watching this film, is like the very little that you get of the Green Knight, but every part of the Green Knight is amazing. And the giants, because that's unexplained. It's there. They don't even speak. They like communicate with the fox, and it's a part of the story that is there for just your amusement. But it has some sort of a meaning, and that's on you to decide. But another thing that this film is like constantly talking about is Gavin striving for greatness and big wanting, or like his pressure of becoming a knight, and it overshadowing like the one good relationship he has with Essel. And even she says like, why can't we just settle for good? And I feel like it's and this is like fantasy, but like more science fiction is like, it's a meditation of our current state through the lens of like the dystopian future. And I feel like, Lord of the Rings does this a lot. Like even in the books, like Tolkien is talking a lot about industrialism and fascism and environmentalism. Like those themes are there, and I feel like here with the Green Knight, or like this is just what I felt, is that we live in a corrupt world where we expect everything to be great, and as soon as those expectations become on par with what we expected, we get unhappy and we get unsatisfied, and we expect them to be perfect. And in that like want of having perfection and the need of being great, we forget the good that we're born with. Like, the good that we are connected with the world with. Like even the small, like if somebody comes up to you and asks you water, and you give them water, the relief that person feels after drinking the water that you've given them is more than the things that you can even imagine. And like, I feel like it was making a case for it, because like even with all this pressure, by the end, like Gavin only becomes a knight in the vision that he has, where everything goes to shit. Like for him to be a great man, he doesn't have to be a knight, and for us to appreciate the good, we don't have to have the perfect or the great. We just have to look inward.
Beautifully put, my friend. Yeah, no, that's wow. That was stunning. Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with anything you said. Yeah, no, that's a great read on it. And it's like you were saying before, the gift of it, the reward of watching this movie is if you give over to it, everything is surprise. It's one of those movies where the story really will take over. And you will turn off that part of your brain that is analytical, and it'll just be, everything can just be. And that's kind of how we should look at all movies. But it's, considering that the kind of movies that come out, it's hard to do that, because we're always gauging them on how much money they make, or how well they're executed in terms of their visual effects, or whatever, or, where they are in terms of the hierarchy of a particular universe or a particular series or anything. But, when you find something standalone like this, it really does sing. I mean, kind of every one of the films that we've done for October has been like that. They're all pieces that are a director's vision and an auteur's vision. And The Green Knight is probably the apex of that, because it is so well executed, it is so confident. And just before we sort of start talking about how we feel about the ending and what there lies in, It's a great cast. Like, I love Alicia Vikander. I reckon she's an excellent actress. She plays these two very different roles, which is really great. Absolutely love Joel Edgerton. Like, I'm a huge fan of his. Like, have been for years. He's probably my favourite Australian export in terms of the actors that we put out there. Everybody's kicking goals. Dev Patel is. And David Lowery saw him in like a modeling shoot or something like that, and was like, damn, that guy is regal as fuck. I got to get him in my movie. He probably didn't sound like that when he said it, though, because he's much more nicely spoken than I am. But he is absolutely electric. Like, you cannot take your eyes off him when he's on screen. I don't just mean in this either. I mean in everything. I think he is one of the most talented young actors working today. I know he's like 36 or something, but yeah, what a supremely, to hold the screen, you know, and this is a widescreen movie. This is a big movie. There's a lot going on. To be on that horse and to command attention the way that he does, you know, from someone so young, is really remarkable. I'm going to be very interested to see, you know, after his directorial debut a year or two ago, to see where he ends up, because, yeah, he's just, whatever it is, he's got it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about next as well. Like, the way he commands every scene, and the way you can feel what Gavin is feeling just by his expressions is like incredible, because so much of this film is you just interpreting what you feel the story is trying to tell you, yet you're very certain about everything that Gavin is feeling. And I feel like that's just, and like you said, he's an incredible actor.
Yeah, so powerful. And yeah, so regal and ethereal. He's you know, kind of the perfect choice. And nothing is ever made of his race either. Like, nothing's ever said about the fact that he's you know, not white, and that Arthur is, and all that stuff, which is really cool. I kind of like that. They just kind of let it be. You don't need to hang a hat on everything. He's just a very good actor playing a really interesting role. In terms of the end, you know, you get that fantastic line, you know, "Well, Sir Knight, now off with your head." And he runs the finger across his neck. I think that was the gag all along. It's like, this has all been a game, and I just, you know, I would never have cut your head off. What's your read on the ending? You know, again, it is ambiguous. You're not really sure what happens next. But like I said before, I feel like he saw that vision of what his life could be if he continued down the path of thinking that you know, honor and nobility are more important than just being a decent human being. That being a knight is really important. And he's so confused by it as well. He really doesn't understand it. It's like where he's talking to the Lord. He's like, "You're not very good at questions, are you?" Because his answers are all rehearsed. It's all about honor. You know, what could be more important than that? Surely. Like, he's so uncertain of that. But then through that vision, he sort of clears up that, oh no, that search for nobility will lead me down a path of war and loss and ultimate death. So yeah, that's my read on it, that it's, the lesson was learned, and that was always the reason that he went on the journey, was to have that lesson learned, because his mum saw him becoming that, you know, sort of beast in a way, and she's like, I need to teach this kid a lesson.
Yeah, like the soullessness of like the last guard of the dying age, basically.
Well, there's no other, like, there's other knights around, but none of them speak. You don't see Lancelot or anything there. There's no particular. You know what's funny though? In the film directed by Anton Fuqua, King Arthur, which was sort of like the prequel to that story, Joel Edgerton plays Gawain.
That's so cool.
Movie. Isn't that weird? Anyway, yeah. So, what's your read on the ending? Like, how do you kind of feel about it?
Yeah, I think I have a very different like read on like what most, because I think most people take away what you took away from it. I think I have a completely different, and I have my reasoning for it as well. But like, that's what I love about this, is that it ends with "now off with your head," and it can mean so many different, or it can mean like two very different things. I feel like his whole journey is yes, well, understanding that being knight, that like becoming a knight is not going to bring him honor or anything. It's just a title that's going to be bestowed on him, and eventually it'll become as a like a dead weight responsibility, and it'll eventually lead to the ruin of all. But I feel like the actual like going to the Green Knight and the mission is that he's always carefree and irresponsible because he has that safety net of the belt. And I feel like that vision and because at the end of the vision, you see him pull out the belt from inside his like garment that he's wearing, and you don't see him like get killed or die. But as soon as he takes it out, you see his head falling over like the pavement where we start the film with, basically in the courtroom. And I feel like like his entire journey is about knowing the fragileness of life. Like you will never get anywhere if you're always safe. And so his learning is that he takes off the belt and then he is ready for the game. And when the knight comes down and says, "Now, sir, off with your head," he dies. He kills him. That's the game.
Okay, all right. Then I love that. I love that. That's where you've gone with it. That's probably far more accurate and less fairy tale-y than mine. You know, that's probably the more probable ending. Absolutely. That's so cool. But again, that's a great thing. It can mean so many things. It doesn't have to be one thing for you and one thing for me. It can be one thing for each individual person. That's what good movies do. Absolutely. It's an excellent picture, everybody. You should watch it right this very now or at Christmas time. Favorite bits, favorite lines?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Let's go favorite moments.
Favorite moments. Cum belt. No. The reveal of the giants really struck me, and just how that was executed visually. Like I couldn't really see the seams. It was really, really exceptional.
Especially like with the hand coming in over the mountain. For me, it's a very subtle moment, but when he first goes to the chapel and he's waiting for the Green Knight to wake up, and you see the Green Knight just kind of open his eyes and then close them back again. But before he does that, the texture in his cheeks is gone, and the face of the Green Knight resembles King Arthur. And then as the sunlight comes in, you see the wooden texture, and it's revealed to be the Green Knight. But before that, it's like it's merging the line between like wood and skin. And he almost sees King Arthur, and like he's just looking up and he's seeing like the greatest of warriors and knights that ever lived, who has sent him on this mission, and he's looking up to that ideal that he's not going to be able to live up to because he's scared. Yeah, those were my favorite moments.
See, that's why this movie will reward on second and third viewings, because you will start getting more of that stuff. My second one is that long tracking shot of him on the horse. I just love it. He's like, he gets, when you put a horizon line and then remove someone from that slowly, and that those things start to fade into the distance, and you really see the time that's been taken to do this shot. I just respect the craft so much of the whole thing, but particularly that's when I started noticing it even more than that opening shot.
For me, it's the walk through the battlefield when he's talking to Barry Keoghan's character for the first time, and he says, Gawain says nobody buried them, and he said no one's left to bury them, and he says, well, nature will take care of it. She'll suck it up and tuck him tight. And I feel like that's so much what this film is about. Like it's about nature, like getting to you and like your connection to it.
Yeah, and the fact that we are biological material, we're not, we kind of separate ourselves from nature, by using its resources, in not very good ways, and eating the animals and all this kind of stuff. We disconnect ourselves from it and feel like that because we have higher intelligence, we're somehow above it. Trust me, a tree is far more intelligent than we are. It understands so much more about its biological makeup than we can understand ours. Like, a person can be terribly ill and not know it. A tree understands when it is ill, and it will adjust and, lean towards water and all that. It's the natural instincts and inclination of nature is far more powerful than we give it credit for. And the closer you can attach yourself to that kind of thing, the more integrated you can be with the naturalistic state, the healthier you become, both mentally and physically. So yeah, that's absolutely true. I think my favorite part in the whole thing was the one I mentioned before, because it says so much. It's, where he asks if the woman's a spirit, and then she says, or alive, she says, "What difference does that make? I need my head." And I just love that. It was just, it's funny and non sequitur and cute, but it's also incredibly as to, the disposition of somebody who's no longer here. Yeah, I just thought it was really, really clever.
For the first time around, I genuinely, like, when I first watched it, I genuinely thought that she was not a ghost. And then when he brings up the skull, I thought that the fox was the ghost all along. But the fox is something else, and I feel like we don't need an answer for that.
No, like I said before, it's just a totem. It's a spirit guide, and that's what hero stories have. There's always one there, even if it's not traveling with the particular hero all the time. What's your favorite bit?
I think it's just the Green Knight itself, like, because we get like maybe 5 minutes of it, and it's so incredible. And from the very first moment that you see the Green Knight, you're yearning for more. And that's the journey that Gavin's on, and he doesn't go like the following year, like he waits out a couple of years because he thinks it's just a game, until he's pressured to go. And like that scene where like the Green Knight is just resting in his chapel, and he's attached with all these twigs and vines, and when he moves, you can hear the twigs snap, and you can feel it, But the most incredible part of that costume and like that aspect of this film is the eyes. They are so soulful and so wise, and they speak so much more than the actual dialogues of that character. And it's something that I've never seen before, and I don't think I'll ever see. And I think that's what makes it so special. Yeah,
100%. Credit to the performance too. Well, there you go, folks. That's The Green Knight. We hope you enjoyed the episode. If you haven't seen The Green Knight, we just ruined it. But go and check it out, or check it out once more again. I know that we've got some questions this week from Juan for his Halloween show. So we're going to do those right this very fucking now.
Before we get to that, I have a question for you. So, seeing that this is a fairy tale, and that it is like, in the beginning, it is spoken from somebody to somebody, right? And let's just say that this is the fairy tale version of what we see. Like, we don't exactly know the ending, right? And it ends ambiguously, like all fairy tales end, where we don't exactly know what happened. Do you think that Gavin really died in that journey before meeting the Green Knight?
He died in the journey. I did think that at one point, that he was killed by the scavenger and the thieves. But then these things that he meets along the way are, part of the spirit journey, and that the fox is Charon, the ferryman. Which is a perfectly good read, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch it again, I think, and But then again, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if I never figure it out. It's okay. Why? What do you reckon?
Yeah, it was something that I also initially thought, because he sees himself as a skeleton tied up still, and I was like, oh, maybe that's the real ending, and none of it is actually true.
It's the turnaround shot, and then the passing of time, and then the turnaround back again. Yeah, that's sort of where I had the inkling of it as well. So maybe.
So Chaz asks, hi Chaz, what modern thing would be interesting as cliche in a medieval period film? And in parentheses, he writes, a guy sends a dick pic.
But it's like an engraving. That's fucking great. Would thou take a look at my cock? It's like, oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. That knight is sending me cock engravings again. What am I going to do? Mum? I don't know who that is talking, but what modern thing? Let me think. Like a trope. Ghosting someone. So you just like stop sending fucking telegrams by hawk or however the hell they used to communicate. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, I haven't got any letters from Lord Byron in a long time or Lord whatever. He just won't talk to me. He won't send me messages via Eagle anymore. That would be my one.
I went to the same thing as well, like sending messages. I think that
yeah.
Like the entirety of
There hasn't been a message come for me forthwith since, 2 months of a time ago. I'm trying to talk like an old-timey person, For all the moon and sun turnaround times of 2 years and no messages come via hawk or bird of prey. Dost thou have a mug of ale for me and me mate? He's been pitched in battle for a fortnight and has a king's thirst for the frosty brew. Thus thou might have with us. That was from Cable Guy. Everyone check out Cable Guy. It's really the Jim Carrey movie. It rules.
No, that's Sir.
What's the next question?
That's Sir Regan the Tall.
Sir Regan the Tall. Sir Regan the fucking 5'10", mate. I'm very, very average. What's the next question?
All right. So these are the 4 questions from Juan.
Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
It'll never not be funny. You can make fun of my name if you want to. I don't care. Juan is a good name.
What is your favorite horror film of all time?
Well, I mean, I would say Jaws, but probably like I've said that a lot. So I'll change it up. Either the original Halloween from 78. Was it 78?
I'll look it up.
It was earlier than that. Anyway,
I'll look it up.
The original John Carpenter Halloween movie with Jamie Lee Curtis, I fucking love. And Silence of the Lambs, probably, which is probably more of a thriller, but yeah, that's my thing. What about you?
Yeah, it's from 78.
It was 78.
Yeah.
I was right. Same year as Superman. How about that?
It's like a year.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Fucking Jaws, then?
Jaws was 75.
Oh, shit. Okay. I don't have a favorite horror film of all time because I have a favorite horror project of all time. I think nothing beats Haunting of Hill House, but something that comes very close is Dr. Sleep.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Midnight Mass. Fuck, yeah. Good shows. Awesome. What's the next question?
All right. What is your favorite horror franchise?
Yeah, it's the Halloween franchise. Definitely. 1's great. 2's pretty good. 3's bananas. It's not even connected to anything. 4 and 5 are weird. And then 6 is sort of like a redo, which I kind of like. It's modern, so it's more like a sort of a slasher thing. Or maybe that's 7. Whatever one. H2O. Halloween H2O. And if you want to see how I feel about this, you can actually go onto the Stitch Up YouTube channel and see the thing that I did for Halloween a few years ago where I went through all the Halloween movies. And then there's one with Busta Rhymes in it where he roundhouse kicks Mike Myers through a window, which is hysterical. And then Rob Zombie made 2 absolutely disgusting, ridiculously cruel and violent and weird towards women remakes that were the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, and I will never watch again under any circumstances. And then, David Gordon Green made 3 pretty good pictures, the direct sequels to the first one. So, yeah, it's a really good series.
Man, I genuinely, before the last Conjuring film, would have said the Conjuring franchise. I feel like if I have a franchise, it's probably like the Netflix Flanagan stuff.
Yeah, that still counts.
That's all because it's The Haunting, right? Because it's The Haunting of Hill House and then Bly Manor. I rewatched Bly Manor and I have thoughts about that, but it's also it's not horror. It's trying to do a very, very different thing in the medium of horror, and it's beautiful in its own right, but it's very mismanaged.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And then it's like Midnight Club, Midnight Mass, The Fall of House of Usher. I feel like all
Gerald's Game.
Yeah, Gerald's Game too. I haven't seen that.
Neither have I. Just know that he made it for Netflix and that it's a Stephen King, horror sort of picture.
Oh shit!
Yeah, no, he's done some great work there. I know that he's got a Carrie series coming out through Prime because he went and shifted and is doing a thing with them, and then Clayface and all that stuff. So yeah, interesting to see what he comes out with. But yeah, that's a good answer. What's this third question? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's doing Carrie and then like going straight into the Dark Tower. Because he went to Amazon just for the Dark Tower, and they were like, "You can still do shit here with us. We don't mind."
Yeah, we need stuff if anything.
Yeah.
Right on. What's question 3?
All right, question 3 is, what is your favorite horror villain? Who is your favorite horror villain?
Yeah, it's Mike Myers. Yeah, sorry, it has to be. I think I might have said all these answers on a previous episode, but yeah, I think that the original version of him, the suburban kid who just snaps and turns mute and gets institutionalized for most of his life and then breaks out and decides to kill his babysitter. Like, that's just without explanation. He's just pure evil. I like that. So rarely these days do you get villains who are completely evil and one-sided. For horror, I think that works best. When you start giving them motives and backstories. Like, I don't need to know that fucking Mike Myers, like in the Rob Zombie versions, that he was abused and that he had a white trash parents and all that stuff. Like, fuck off. It's just, it's so easy to do that. It's scarier that he's this suburban kid who just fucking went nuts, and it was always going to happen. It doesn't matter what the circumstances,
I don't think I have an answer for this. I think the closest I can get to is the woman from Barbarian.
Yeah. Absolutely. Fuck that movie. Jesus. Oh, it's very, very good. Cool. Yeah, that works too. And was there a fourth question?
Yep. It's the last one. So the last question is, if you could remake any classic horror film, which one would it be?
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I still need to watch that.
Straight up. It's fucking great. It's really, really good. Yeah, absolutely do that. Yeah, Creature in the Black Lagoon is due for a remake because it's a universal creature feature that hasn't had anyone try it. James Wan was going to do it a while ago, and that would have been really cool. But it's a really good film, the original. It's got a great ecological message, and I think it's prime for the pickings. I
honestly don't know, man. Like, I've not seen a lot of classic horror.
That doesn't matter. It could be something, fucking from the 90s or the 2000s to be remade,
I don't know. I think I can make a pretty decent Final Destination film.
Yeah.
Because I hate fucking... I hate fucking, yeah.
You hate fucking?
I hate elaborate, deaths that are oh fuck, dude, that's literally really hard to look at. I hate those. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
But you think you could do it classy?
Yeah. Or maybe a fucking Paranormal Activity, a found footage film. I think I can be good because I've made similar things, so I think I can do that.
So remake Paranormal Activity. Nice one. Yeah, do that. I love that idea. And set it there, where you are right now, and all the ghosts are singing in the background. That's the episode, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it. Go out and check out The Green Knight and Halloween and Blythe Manor and House on Horses Hills. What is it? The Haunting of Hill House.
The Haunting of Hill House.
There's too many H's in that sentence. Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for listening again. We really do appreciate it. Addie, you can behead me anytime.
Oh, we'll do it at the same time.
Yeah, but yeah, you would do the double beheading. Yeah, go out like true podcasters, just beheading each other.
Or I could be the belt, and you can be whatever you want.
And on that sexy note, have a good rest of your Halloween season, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the October, Spook Fest or whatever it is the fuck we do. We'll be back to some regularly scheduled programming next week. Probably Masters of the Universe, honestly, but we'll see. In the meantime, remember, fuck hate.
Love veins!